everyone, and welcome back to Bear's Reading Nook. I'm Kara, and today we're going to be talking about my June TBR as well as the TBR game for July. So let's get into it. So first, let's talk about how I did for June. There we go, that's the month. So first we have the Dream Defenders, The Spring of Souls. This is the third book in the Dream Defenders series, and I'm filming this early, so I still have time to finish this book, but I am currently 17 pages in, so I should still have time to finish that. Next we have The Scapegoat by Daphne du Maurier. Haven't started that, but there is still time to read that. We'll see how I do. And the last book down here is My Brother's Husband, which I read, enjoyed, and gave 5 stars to. So since I am filming this early, and I believe that I can finish these books, I am not taking a punishment currently. If I don't finish these 2 books by the end of the month, I will take a punishment from this cup, which has all the Kindle books, which I have updated, so it is now accurate and up to date. I know that I said that if I didn't finish my June Phase TBR books, that I would end up taking a punishment. However, something came up this month that was outside of my control, and because of that, I am not going to be taking a punishment. This is just kind of like a free month for me. I still have yet to finish The Spring of Souls, which is the 3rd book in the Dream Defender series. Still intend to read that. I think I'm like 30-ish pages in, so I've at least started that one. The Scapegoat by Daphne du Maurier, I have yet to start, and I do plan on reading it at some point. I just don't know when that is. So yeah, no punishment for this month. Rolling a D8 to see how many books I'm reading in July. The dice apparently like me because we got a 3 again. Okay, let's pick our 3 cards. Let's do this, I guess. Okay, so our first card is a green 7. Green is this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is this one. And that is 21 books. Okay, so for the first prompt, we got 21 books, and basically I have a book, I have a video of books that I want to read this year, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna attempt to read Warbreaker. Never read a Sanderson. Still kind of easing myself into fantasy, but we're just gonna kind of jump head first and read Warbreaker for that one. So we'll see how that goes. Second is a blue 10. Blue 10 is 1, 2, okay, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That one. Which is a one word title. There we go. Next, we got one word title, and for this one I am going to read Grown by Tiffany Jackson, I think. And I've heard some things about it. It seems to be a mystery of sorts surrounding the main character and the music industry as well, which sounds really interesting, and I'm excited to read that. I have that one on audiobook from my library. Okay, and the last one is a blue 3, which is this one. which is a read in a day. Okay, so for read in a day, I'm doing Shortcake Cake. I enjoy this series so much. The series follows Ten, who is tired of having a 2-hour commute and not being able to hang out with her friends, so she decides to move into a boarding house with her friends and or with her best friend and a few other people, I think like 3 or 4 guys, and be able to hang out and have friends, you know, stuff like that. And in doing so, she ends up catching the eye of one of the guys living there, but she is very bad about picking up signals. And the story progresses from there. That is not where the 3rd volume is anymore, but I'm excited to see where this goes. The 2nd book ended with a like the start of a trope that I really like how they did in here, and I want to see where it goes from there. So yeah, excited for this one. Okay, so also this month I am participating in the Path or Pantheon, which is hosted by MythTake. I will link the Twitter where they announced the readathon as well as all the information in the description below. So I am for sure doing the Japanese Pantheon, which, let me pull up the prompts. So there are 5 prompts for each Pantheon or Path, and each of those also has like a specific power. So for the Japanese Pantheon, the power is that if I don't finish a book, I can still count it as read towards a prompt. And so the first prompt is a thought-provoking book. For this one, I'm doing A Bound Woman is a Dangerous Thing, which talks about the incarceration of African-American women from Harriet Tubman to Sandra Bland. It's written in like a poetry kind of style, so that'll be interesting. But this book has been one that I've been thinking about reading for a while now, and I want to get around to it, and I think that it will be a very good one to read. Next is a book featuring music, and for this one, this may be a bit of a stretch, but I'm gonna do Grown, and this one is kind of like a murder mystery, but the main character is wanting to get into the music industry, so it does feature music in a way. I'm counting it. Next is a book featuring archery, and for this one I'm doing Sherwood, which is basically like if Robin Hood was a woman. And so I'm interested to see how this is. It sounds interesting, and yeah, I'm excited to get into this one. Next is On an Island, and for this one I'm going to be doing Jurassic Park, and I'm excited for this one. I have I've watched the movies multiple times, mainly I think the first and second I've seen. I don't remember the third one like at all, so. But I'm excited to see how the world and environment is kind of built in a like story setting from like the perspective of like the book, and how the author kind of fleshes out the world and the island and stuff like that. Last book in this Pantheon is, our last prompt is featuring food or cooking, and for this one I'm doing Kitchen Princess, which I think is like a cooking competition of sorts, and I randomly found this one at the library kind of recently, and it popped out to me, and I've been wanting to read it, so I have, you know, I have a reason to now, so yeah. And I may hate myself for this, but I kind of also want to do The Path of Beauty. Like I said, I may hate myself for this one, because that would mean that I'd be reading 10 books for Path or Pantheon, as well as 3, technically 2, because I believe Grown was one of the books from the Phase 2 TBR, but potentially I could be reading 12 books in the month. So, oh dang, it might be 13. You know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Okay, so for the Path of Beauty, the power is that I can swap one book for a beautiful book. The first prompt is featuring romance. For this one, I'm gonna do Heartstopper Volume 2. Excuse me, I read the first Heartstopper in June, and it was really fun. I enjoyed it. It's super cute and so wholesome, and I want to read more, and you know, it's a graphic novel, so it's gonna be very quick, especially if I have 13 books on here. I'ma hate myself, but I'm doing it. Next is Animal on the Cover. That's not in here. Next is Animal on the Cover, and for this one I'm going to be doing the Snowcat Prince, which I have somewhere in this house. I'm not sure where it is, so I'll just put a picture up there. That is a graphic novel that I believe I am borrowing from one of my friends, and I think it is about a cat taking a journey for something, and may have magical elements in there as well. Okay, so for the featuring art prompt in the Path of Beauty, I'm going to be reading Doubt, which is a chunky manga, and basically Rabbit Doubt is a mobile game that has taken Japan by storm, and the kind of purpose of the game is that all the players are rabbits, and they have to uncover who the wolf is in like rabbit clothing kind of thing, and basically do so before they become prey themselves. And a group of players decides to meet offline, and they end up losing consciousness and waking up in an abandoned building with barcodes tattooed on their bodies, and, you know, corpses strung up, or a corpse strung up in front of them. To stay alive, they have one option: sniff out who the wolf is. Which sounds amazing, and it looks like it could be potentially like more bloody, but we'll see how this goes and see if I like it. Okay, so for featuring music, I'm going to be reading Muted. I have it checked out on audiobook from my library, and basically it follows Denver, who, for her, music means everything, and so when her and her friend's path crosses with an R&B star, and that star gives them like everything, they kind of are willing to sacrifice things, and in their mind they keep telling themselves that it's worth it, until for some reason it isn't, and she feels trapped. And basically that sounds so good. Like, there's more to it, but it sounds amazing, and I really want to read it. It sounds so good. So we're reading it. Okay, so for feminist themes, I am going to read Hunger by Roxane Gay. This basically takes a look at food and the body, and like different things related to that, and I'm wondering what take the author is going to have, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I enjoyed a previous book by the author, which I think was not that bad, and that was a really good one as well, and so I'm excited to see what the author has in store for this book. So I realized that I forgot to actually talk about what the book club pick for July is, and that's Uglies. This is a reread for me following 16-year-old Tally, who wants to have an operation to make her pretty. I don't remember much other than that. It seems like a dystopian type of book, and I'm excited to kind of like check this out again because this series was one that I really enjoyed and like read really fast in, I think, middle school, so it has been a bit since I've read it. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this is and if I still like it. Okay, so these are just a few books that I'm reading this month. There are the 2 audiobooks. There are also a few books that I think are somewhere in this house that I need to find, as well as some books that are still being ordered from the library. But I'm gonna have fun this month. Why am I doing this to myself? I don't know. But that's all for this video, and I will see you next time in the Bear's Nook. Bye!